What's going down? It's Matt with Smoke Game Strong. We got another episode of the Smoke Show. We're out in Waco today, here at my boy's spot, Helberg BBQ. It's actually my first time here. Super stoked.
Glad to have you, man.
Yeah, man. All the food board looks great. Tons of sides. I was looking on the Yelp earlier, and I was like, man, the coleslaw looks fantastic. Everything, all the sides. I'm a fresh side guy.
Good, man.
You know, I've seen the Brussels sprouts on there.
Yeah, that's become a real popular one.
So, man, tell us about the journey. How long you been open?
So it'll be 4 years in this location in May. We spent a little over a year in a old beat up 1950s camper that we converted into a food trailer before that. So we opened April of 2018 down in Waco, and then moved out here a little outside of Waco. We're about 20 minutes from downtown or so. You know, we like the roadside barbecue joint.
Right by the lake also. So
yeah, we like, you know, cornfield across the street and, you know, just kind of old school feel to it. And that's really how we prefer to do it. So yeah, we've been out here for going on 4 years now. It's flown by. Of course, pandemic kind of made 2 years just disappear like that. Yeah, it's been great, man. We've been super blessed out here. The community has taken us in, and we love being out here.
So you said you're open 7 days a week. So
yes.
You can come to here anytime, drive from all over Texas.
Any day.
Wake up in the morning, want some barbecue. You know, you can head to Waco and come see.
Only closed on Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day. Every other day we're open.
So there you go. Anytime, just bust it out in the morning, shoot from wherever in Texas, get down to Waco.
And unless it's a Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, we're open for dinner too. So I mean, awesome. Wednesday to Saturday, we're open until either 7 or 8 o'clock. So
that's awesome.
We try to be available. We cook a lot of food.
And you guys make your own desserts as well?
Yeah, we actually
pies,
have a
right?
pastry guy on staff now. So he's done a killer job. He's coming up with stuff all the time I don't even know about. Like this morning, he's out there like, you know, like icing a cheesecake. And I'm like, what is that? Cool, let me take a picture so I can put it on Instagram.
Nice.
You know, but people buy it all up. So I can't be mad at it.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
So I lived in Southern California for a few years with my wife when she was finishing up college. And I was just a homesick Texan and started cooking in the backyard. And then I was kind of in between a few different career paths and going to school. And then the more I started cooking, the more it just like became an obsession. And then people started asking me like, hey, are you going to do something with this? And so we thought, well, why not? You know, we're young. We were like 22, 23 at the time. And we're like, why not go for it now? What do we have to lose? And but then we figured out pretty quickly we didn't want to do it there. We wanted to come home and do it here. And it's also kind of like, you know what they say, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere type of thing. We were able to get ourselves on the map in Central Texas. It automatically kind of legitimized us a little bit.
Yeah, you got to prove.
So we fought hard, you know, especially that first year. We you know, drained our savings and worked, you know, every day, and while we were pregnant with our son, and it's paid off now. So,
So Texas Monthly Top 50, man. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
You know, and yeah, man, we're excited. We'll go check out the pits. What do you have back there?
Yeah, I got a few offsets we can go look at, some 1,000 gallons, and then our little my sports car 500-gallon travel rig. That's what I call it, compared to the big Mack truck, you know. Heavy hauler, brisket haulers.
the big boys.
Yeah.
So you take a 500 to the events and stuff like that?
Yeah, we have, it's actually a one-of-a-kind Mo scale, or a Scaleberg, whatever you want to call it. So it's a Moberg 500 on one side and a mill scale fire table on the other side.
Oh, no way. That's awesome. Yeah, so we're super excited. We're gonna have them at the next Come and Smoke It, April 29th. Super, yeah, man. Excited to see what kind of dish you're gonna do for this one. You know?
I'm excited to have a day at the lake.
yeah. Can't beat a day at the lake. We'll be out there on Lake Travis. Super pumped for that, man. We'll have to go jump in the lake and have a good time. So
be a little warmer.
Yeah, I know. So let's go check out the pits.
We got the two Moberg 1,000 gallons out here. Norman right here. This was our first one that we got in 2020. right after the pandemic started. That tank, that propane tank, is just shy of a ½ inch thick. It was from 1948. So when I brought it down to Sonny, he said it was the second oldest tank he's ever seen. And it still actually had the info plate on it, which was very rare for a tank that old. So that was our first Moberg 1000. And then we got Walter here right after the top 50 list came out in 2021, which was perfect timing. So they handle the majority of the briskets, ribs, all the hot cooked stuff. And then if we go back here, we have Fiona. Fiona is a 1,000-gallon Harper pit out of Costa Mesa, and we do pretty much most of our cold smoking on Fiona. And Fiona is a full ½ inch thick. This tank is from 1946, so just after the war. Very, very heavy tank. When we first got it, it wasn't even counterweighted. You had to do a full two-handed power clean to get the thing open. And then I had my buddy over at Reckless Ironworks here in Waco put some counterweights on it and give ourselves a little bit of a break. We do all our bacon here in house, so these will be for bacon jam and burgers and sliced bacon that we'll sell out of the deli case. And that's all the center cut stuff. We trim all these little pieces and ends off, and we'll make bacon jam with that stuff. We'll actually grind it into some of our sausage as well. We use this scrap bacon for the fat in some of our sausage, which gives it a really good flavor. And that'll be our beef sauce, like our original beef sausage that we make with all our brisket trim. What are you going for first?
I don't know, but honestly, I usually go for sausage first, just to see what the sausage is like, you know?
I kind of do too. That's always like
people are always like brisket, and I'm like, I want to build up to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially,
I usually kind of work it in the middle of there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, all right, now we'll get to the brisket.
All right, man. So this spread looks insane. Like we were saying, I don't know where you would start, but how about you tell us what we all got here?
All right, so I'll start with, I'll just go from end to end. So I'm going to start actually with pesto stuffed turkey. This is the first thing that got us on the map with Texas Monthly back in 2018.
Wow.
I couldn't sell turkey to save my life the first few weeks we were opening the trailer, and I decided to just do a little special with it, and it just stuck. So that's always been a staple. We didn't have it for a few months because of the turkey shortage last year, so we just recently got it back on the menu. Super stoked about that. I eat, pounds of that every week.
Awesome.
And then we got our house-made sausages. The two mainstays we have here are our jalapeno white cheddar. So that's all of our spare rib trimmings. And then we actually grind bacon into that one as well, which I was showing him on the smoker out there.
Saw that.
Cold smoke some like fatty chunks of bacon, and we'll grind that in with the pork trimmings.
Wow.
And then our classic beef sausage, your typical Central Texas hot guts. We put a little beef hearts in there to kind of stay true to the tradition, that like some of those old school Lockhart joints do.
Totally.
And then, the crown jewel of any barbecue menu, the brisket.
So shiny.
Yeah. Prime brisket, just salt and pepper. We don't do anything else on it.
Nice.
And, we don't wrap in paper. We do the foil boat thing. So you'll notice like you get a good kind of crunchy, like chicharron kind of outside out there.
Nice.
Yeah, we switched to that a few years ago. Now it's super popular. So
I've never wrapped in foil, actually. I always use paper. I'm just like, and I'm just like, just go with it. But I cook them until they're close to being done and then wrap them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. So, and then our spare ribs, we try not to get too crazy with the spare ribs. A lot of people do fancy different glazes and sauces and whatnot. We like it to be just a pretty straightforward Central Texas savory spare rib, but we just focus on the execution of them, just cook them perfectly.
Totally.
And that's what, at least that's what our community out here, that's what they want, and that's
Awesome.
what we like. And then the pork steak. So shoulder steak, we've been pretty committed to the pork steak game from the beginning. Not a big fan of pulled pork. Would much rather do something more exciting with a pork butt.
Do you guys do? You don't do pork?
We don't do pulled pork.
That's awesome. I mean, slice it in the steaks and do it like that.
We
Yeah,
tried doing it a couple of times. We even ran it as a special on Saturdays before, and we did it like we made a special sauce for it, and we like bought pork skin too and did chicharron with it and chopped it all in, and it was just like epic. People wouldn't buy it. So they're so committed. Like we were committed to pork steak. Our customers are committed to pork steak, and we love it. So we do a citrus marinade on it with some chilies in there, and then we just, hot and fast, man. Real hot and fast, baste it. We actually will boat those too, and so we'll get them a little kind of crunchy on top. Awesome. Deep color.
I was going to ask you about that because I saw some in the case, and I was like, "Does he boat the pork steaks?" I need to ask about that. How's that?
Because that way they sit in that marinade too.
Yeah.
We'll like put them in there, and then we'll pour some marinade over the top, and it'll just kind of cook into there, and then we will like pour a little bit over the top when we serve it. And then my favorite thing on the menu is our smoked fried half chicken. So we do a pickle juice based brine on that. We smoke it until it's like just barely done, and then we flash fry to order in beef tallow.
Wow, no way.
Yeah, so it's got layers.
Wow,
for sure.
I can smell it, and I can't wait to crunch.
That's always my go-to.
It's the crown jewel.
Yeah, and then real quick run through all the sides.
Love the sides, man. They look fantastic.
Braised collard greens, only seasonally available. We do them November to April.
Awesome.
House-made bacon in there, house pork stock. We save all of the breastbones that we trim off of the spare ribs. We smoke those and then make a stock out of it for that. We use that same stock in our beans, and then that's, like any good barbecue joint, that's the trash pile for any leftover meats, goes in the bean pot. Our smoked mac and cheese, so we cold smoke cheddar cheese and then shred that down, build a bechamel, classic, Mornay sauce, and then top it off with some house-made bacon bits, and then what we call crunchy yum, which is like those French's fried onions and potato chips crunched together for a nice little salty crunch on top. Mustard potato salad, which we keep pretty classy. It's kind of like a deviled egg potato salad. There's eggs in there. Top it with a little paprika. Chimichurri slaw. So I'm not a huge mayo slaw fan. I prefer vinegar slaw.
Same.
And when I was walking through the list of ingredients that I would want in a vinegar-based slaw, I had, red onion, parsley, garlic, and then I'm like, I want to do a red wine vinaigrette-based dressing, and I'm like, well, I'm already basically there with the chimmy, so I might as well just blend all that stuff, make chimmy, and use that as the dressing.
Wow.
So that's what we do there. We add a little bit of pickled jalapeno in there too. Street corn salad. So the cool thing that we do with this is, a lot of times it's got like butter and mayo in there. Well, it separates when it gets cold, right? So we actually make mayonnaise with butter, call it butternaise. And so rather than egg yolks and oil, we do eggs, whole eggs, and butter, whip that together into a mayonnaise. And that's what goes in there with we blend that with seeded jalapenos and cilantro, and then top it out with some fresh cotija cheese and tahini, of course. Can't go without the tahini.
Man.
And then the newest addition to our sides is Brussels sprouts. So we blanch them and then just, flat top griddle them to order. Top it off with some smoked sour cream and candied pecans.
Yeah, man.
And then I guess the banana pudding, right?
Is that the banana pudding? Awesome.
Yeah. So we top this fresh to order with fresh sliced bananas. It's a fresh pudding that we make in house from like house made whipped cream, and then we make a stovetop pudding and mix that all together so it's really creamy and light. And then we actually use Slayton Bakery ginger snaps instead of vanilla wafers in ours. So I really like the texture of the ginger snaps, and it's not a super spicy ginger flavor to it. So it's mellow enough to where it doesn't overpower the bananas in there. I really like we sell a ton of pudding, man, like tons and tons of pudding every week. And then our newest, this is our special right now on our dessert side. So we always have smoked pecan pies, and then sometimes another pie that will kind of rotate in there. But right now, and then we usually have another, like a special slice of cheesecake. So right now we're doing chocolate chip cookie crust, and then a chocolate whipped cream topping on the cheesecake.
Man,
I'm out of breath.
I know. I like. Just next level, man. Just taking everything the extra mile, just from You know, starting with the pesto chicken to the, I can't believe you fry it in beef tallow, going that extra
You
mile.
got to do something with all that fat, right?
What do you think? I should try the sausage first? Which one's this one?
That's a jalapeno cheddar.
Okay.
The jalapeno white cheddar.
Classic.
That's, yeah, that one. That's always a go-to for a sausage wrap for me, at least once a week. I would probably jump from that to like the pork steak.
Oh, the pork steak. I know.
Yeah.
I know it just looks like a star over here.
And it's like,
wow.
It's definitely a, you're only going to get that here, at least that flavor. I mean, more places are starting to do pork steak now for sure, but we're definitely unique on the way that we do it, you know, so. Especially when you get a good, like, nice fatty piece that got some good crust on it.
So it's got like is there some vinegar in there?
Yeah, so we do a lot of like orange juice,
Try that one more time.
lime juice, some pickled jalapenos.
Oh, it's a pork steak of a lifetime right there.
Yeah.
That fatty piece.
Yeah, it just sets it off, right?
So you do the what do they call it? The foil boat.
Yep. Do the full boat, so you get a nice little crispy layer of fat on there.
Look at that
on
nice.
top.
I love a crunchy bark. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It gives another element to the brisket. You know,
A lot of barbecue trays lack textural contrast.
it's too soft. Yeah.
And it's like everything is soft across the board.
Look at that.
And we want to add that textural contrast where we can. You know, that's why we fry the chicken. That's why we do the pork steaks the way we do. That's why we, you know, do something a little bit different to set the brisket apart. You know,
Love the little crunch on it. You know what I mean? It just gives
that
it
pepper in there.
great salt, great salt to it. Fantastic brisket. Like this fried chicken looks insane. It smells ridiculous.
I would go for that wing first.
I'm going for the wing.
That's always where we go first.
100%.
And we're doing,
First.
in fact, today, like as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to jump on Instagram and announce our Super Bowl pre-orders. But we're doing smoked fried wings, just how we do this chicken, at $1 a wing too, which we got a really good deal on some wings. And I'm trying to move 2,000 wings for the Super Bowl. So I'm selling them on the cheap and they're just good, man. It's just good wings. So
The flavor on that, I do wings like every Wing Wednesday, you know, at the house.
Yeah.
That's one of the best chicken I've ever had. No
Thank you,
bullshit.
man.
Yeah, no bullshit.
It's a lot of work to put into chicken.
Yeah, but it's worth it in the end. That chicken is
Well, we just
out of
don't want to
control.
do anything halfway, you know, man? Like, if I'm going to put something on the menu, I got to have a good reason to talk about it and why you should order it.
finger looking good. That's all I know.
I swear, we were just talking last night. We got to order buckets. You know, I want a branded Hellberg bucket, so I can start selling this chicken by the bucket.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Every time a family comes in and orders like 3-4 chicken halves,
Yeah,
I want to bring it out to them in a bucket and just be like,
yeah.
dig in, guys.
Let me get at one of these bad boy ribs. I always see the ribs special. The ribs always look insane. Get a little bite off these bad boy. That's how I like it.
Just a good executed rib. That's all.
Perfect. I mean, cook-wise, yeah, and just you're not biting it off. It ain't gonna fall off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Great flavor, great rib. Yeah, it's all been. I haven't even tried the turkey yet. Will you hand me one of them napkins, please?
Yeah.
I love. Oh, sorry. I love food that looks like this. You know, like
It's got to be pretty.
like
you know?
visually, like, you know, I never been here, but I'm like, yo, his food is legit. Like, I know it is. You know,
We
like
eat
I
with
can
our
just,
eyes,
yeah,
you know?
but like I can just tell everything was executed to that higher level. And once you explained it, I already knew, but now I really know. And now I know the flavor of how much you're putting the real love into it, you know? She said this is with the smoked chicken stock. I love collard greens. By
Yeah,
the way.
so we do have chickens, but we buy whole chickens and we take the backbones out, right? And then we'll smoke all those backbones and make that stock for the greens. Yeah.
Solid greens. I'm a fresh side guy when I'm eating a lot of meat, you know what I mean? You gotta have, you know, and look right here, you have
3 green things.
yeah. I mean, almost 1, 2, 3.
You
and
got
then
two
two
got
fresh
some corn in
veggies,
there.
you know? So Yeah, I'm excited to try everything. Let's try this Mac
You gotta
Daddy.
get a complete bite with the crunch in there. You get a decent kick of smoke in that cheese sauce too. Like, it ain't for everybody. Some people think it's too smoky.
Oh, no, it's great. Gotta get that bacon on there.
But you know, if it's good enough for
about-
my kid to eat it, we have a lot of young families bring picky kids here, and they're like, they'll eat the mac and cheese. So
I bet they will.
that's a very high compliment to me. You know, I know how picky my kid can be.
So what is this white? What's the white?
So that's the smoked sour cream, and then candied pecans with like there's a little bit of cayenne in there in the candied pecans. But another good, like, you get a good crunch in there.
Those are some really, really good Brussels sprouts. Almost like a dessert.
Right.
It was,
Yeah.
you know, like a dessert Brussels sprout. You're like, yeah, that's how good it is. Yeah, you got to get that little bit of brown sugar, a little.
Yeah.
I would never think to put something sweet
On the Brussels.
on Brussels sprouts. It's a killer dish right there.
That was all Dave, my kitchen manager. He was like, you know, we had to take collards off because they were starting to get bitter, right, in the late spring, early summer, and we wanted to put something else on the menu that would be able to, you know, we'd be able to run it through summer. It would be something nice and green, and they were like, "What about Brussels sprouts?" And
just the color, you know.
He
It's
was
just
like, "We're gonna
brightens
throw
up the dish."
Yeah,
you know,
it's great.
Try this chimney.
And that's my go-to is I'll get a bed of that and some of that pesto stuffed turkey on there, or maybe.
Almost
some
has like a
chicken on
broccoli. Is there any broccoli in it?
Nope.
No. Man, it tastes so good. It tastes like it's super fresh.
Yeah, bright, good
super
palate
fresh.
cleanser too.
Fantastic. A little kick in the end.
Yeah.
A little kick.
Pickled jalapeno. in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
And then like also the fresh, you know, the fresh onions in that. In that chimney too. So it's the only thing, we don't put like shallots in the chimney because that would be the traditional way. But I'm not gonna go buy shallots just to make chimney with.
Love the mustard base. You know what I mean? Classic.
Yeah.
Great taste. Nice little pickling, like the relish, you know, flavor. That's how I make mine. I literally take like 3 different mustards, mayo, you know, thing of relish, you know, when I'm trying to just whip something up, and it comes out great, but it's always mustard based, you know, at the house.
Yeah, when they were like, we actually had switched that up a couple years ago too, right after Top 50, and
really good.
They're talking about putting eggs in it, and I was like, man, if y'all want to put eggs in it, be my guest. I'm not boiling and peeling all those eggs, but if y'all want to, and then I had tried it, and I was like, yeah, this has to be it.
My neighbor loves mine. He's like, oh man, you got the eggs in there and everything. I was like, I don't put eggs in there. But like, you know, he thought he's like, you sure? And I'm like, no, it's just like a mustard base. But I'm like, I just don't want to do the work with boiling the eggs and peeling them. I just don't want to do that extra work.
Every time I'm back there, I'm like, man, I so appreciate you boiling those eggs.
But then it would actually be like a $20 potato salad because the price of eggs now are like $20. So now, you know what I mean? So
we need to get some chickens around here.
For real. Put some chickens out back, you know, lay some eggs and then make some half chickens later on.
Right.
You know? Hey, man, killer spread today, man. We're going to pound the rest of this, me and the crew here. But thanks for having us out. And
absolutely. Thanks for
coming. Next level, man. Really
appreciate it.
Great stuff. And can't wait to have them at the next Come and Smoke It, April 29th. We're going to discuss here later on what you're going to do. It's going to be something special, though, I'm sure.
Business.
Yeah. So get your butt out to Hellberg here in Waco. Top level tier barbecue all around, man. Great stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.